What's the biggest promise your parents broke? When I was 14, my dad walked out on us for his new family, promising he'd never abandon my little brother Noah, who has severe autism. He swore he'd always be there for therapy sessions, doctor visits, everything. For the first year, he kept that promise. He'd drive 2 hours every week to take Noah to his specialists, attend every IEP meeting at school, and even joined support groups to better understand autism. Then his new wife got pregnant. Suddenly, Noah's weekly appointments became monthly, then every other month, then just when he could make it. Soon, I was the one walking my 8-year-old brother to therapy after school, learning his calming techniques, and helping him with his speech exercises. Mom worked 2 jobs to keep us afloat, so most days it was just me and Noah. I learned to cook his special dairy-free meals, cut his sandwiches into perfect triangles the way he needed, and knew exactly which fabric softener to use so his clothes wouldn't trigger a sensory meltdown. By the time I was 15, I could predict Noah's panic attacks before they happened. I knew that tapping his left shoulder 3 times while humming Hey Jude would calm him down. I memorized which stores had too much fluorescent lighting, which parks were quiet enough for him to play, and which routes home avoided the construction noise that overwhelmed him. Dad's calls became shorter, always ending with, "I'm really busy with the baby coming." When Noah would melt down during these calls, crying for his daddy, Dad would quickly say, "Handle it," and hang up. Those nights were the hardest, holding my sobbing brother while he repeated, "Daddy promised," over and over. The breaking point came at Noah's big school performance. He'd been practicing for months to play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star on the piano. It was huge. He'd never performed in front of people before. Dad promised he'd be front row. Noah talked about it for weeks, even picked out a special blue bow tie because Dad once said he looked handsome in blue. I sat with Noah backstage, watching him peek through the curtains every few minutes, scanning the audience for Dad. When it was his turn, Noah walked to the piano, looked at the empty front row, and froze. His hands started shaking. I knew what was coming. I ran on stage just as he started screaming, dropping to his knees and hitting his head against the floor. His worst meltdown ever. As I carried my thrashing brother off stage, his bow tie fell off. The audience just stared. Later that night, Dad called. "Sorry, bud. Sophia had a tummy ache." Sophia was his new baby. Noah was curled up in his closet, still in his performance clothes, clutching his piano sheet music. I hung up on Dad mid-excuse. That's when I took matters into my own hands. I recorded every therapy session, every doctor's visit, every school meeting Dad missed. I documented every payment Mom made for Noah's care, the special foods, the sensory-friendly clothes, the therapy bills, every time Dad canceled, every unanswered call, every promise broken. On Noah's 10th birthday, Dad finally showed up, first time in months. He brought his new baby, bragging about how she was already talking. Noah was still mostly nonverbal. That night, I handed Dad a thick envelope. Inside was a modified custody agreement and a bill for 2 years of Noah's care. "What's this?" He laughed. "You're 16. Yeah, I said. "And I've done more parenting in 2 years than you have in 10. Sign it." He didn't take me seriously until Mom's lawyer called. The evidence was overwhelming. Every missed appointment, every ignored call, every therapy bill he'd promised to pay but didn't. The judge took one look at my documentation and granted Mom full custody. Dad's child support doubled.